I started as a financial coach. That was the first iteration of her first 100K was me working one-on-one with women. And I would go to my local Starbucks and sit down with them and like go over their budgets. And I'm all about actionable advice. And if you followed me for 2 seconds, you know that, right?
Sure.
But the funny thing is when I first started as a coach, I would focus on that actionable advice and clients would see progress for a while. And then they come back to me and be like, it's almost like drinking, right? They're like, I went on a spending binge last night. I like blacked out, just kept swiping my credit card or just, kept plugging it into, my online portal. And suddenly I $1,000 later and none of it was stuff that I actually wanted. And I started realizing, I was like, okay, this actionable stuff, yeah, they have a budget, but then they keep defaulting to old habits, right? Or yes, I got them to open up their Roth IRA and start investing, but they still feel a little scared of the stock market. And when the stock market goes down, they panic. And I realized just how seeped in our financial trauma is to every single choice we make.
Yeah, sure.
So the vast majority of money habits are cemented by age 7.
Wow.
We know that from research, from statistics. I'm going to repeat that because it's just crazy. By 2nd grade, the vast majority of your money habits have already been cemented.
Wow.
Which means, of course, that the people who are raising you, your parents, your grandparents, your guardians, whomever, they're impacting the way you view money for the rest of your life. And I lead you through a practice in the book, and you can do it here too. Think about the first time you ever thought about money. What is your first money memory? For me, it was saving up money to go see Annie the musical, because did I mention I'm a theater kid? That was me. I literally put my coins I found on the street or made in a lemonade stand in an Altoids tin so I could afford a ticket to go see a musical. Cool. Because my parents told me, if you want something, you need to save for it. Right? That was a great memory that completely impacted every single choice I've made about money since then. Other memories I've heard have been not so positive, right? First time I remember thinking about money is I saw my parents yelling at each other about it. First time I remember considering money was because I realized we didn't have any or we didn't have enough. And this will impact you for the rest of your life unless you decide to change it.
Yeah.
Can't tell you the amount of times that somebody has come to me, typically with a more, if you want to call it, negative money memory or a money memory that was really difficult for them. And they have either done the same thing of money is a struggle to them, money feels scarce, or they've gone the completely opposite way. And I see this with a lot of women of color or first gen, is that they didn't have money, so they hoard all of the money that they do get because they're like, I don't know when it's coming back. So these are the kind of women who feel they're great savers, but they feel so guilty about spending money. And when they do spend money, especially on something that is for themselves, they feel so terrible about it. And we have to start with the emotions of money as well as the narratives that you've been told. Again, money is taboo. Don't talk about it. If you pursue money, that's bad. That's a morally irreprehensible thing to do. Money can't buy you happiness, right? Or, the feeling of I don't want money because that either A, makes me a bad person, or B, actually makes my life worse. Because if I have money and I don't know what to do with it, that's worse. So we spend the whole first chapter talking about these narratives, talking about your money memories, and then going through journaling prompts of okay, how does this money memory shape how you view money now? And what do you want to change about that, if anything? We can't learn how to make a budget. We can't learn how to pay off debt until we realize here are all of the things impacting our money in the first place. Here are all of the psychological triggers that are happening when we go up to the grocery store checkout line and swipe our credit card and then feel guilty about it. So I think we had to start the book that way. And I think you were asking before of what makes us different or what makes my advice different. I don't think there's a lot of books out there, especially, I know Dave Ramsey doesn't, that starts with hey, first of all, give yourself a piece of cake and a lot of grace because this is going to be really hard. But 2, let's shape and transform a lot of the ways we view money right now, which are probably anxiety, fear, shame, judgment, scarcity, into the positive emotions, which are joy and ease and comfort and freedom. because that's the other part of the emotions around money.
Sure.
Is I can go last year on a writer's retreat to France and drink kilos of Burgundy while, writing my book.
Right.
And know that my business is making money at home.
Sure.
I can, again, throw money at organizations I believe in. I can give women jobs. I can make sure that I'm taking care of myself so my parents will never have to worry about me. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a heck of a trip there. I love some Burgundy
it was
girl.
Great.
how, let me ask you this. What, you have a lot of hacks, and you said like very, very tactical advice. Get some of that going, right? Roll out some of your hacks, some of your advice, some of those quick nuggets that people can deploy.
I will say again, all of this is asterisks with systemic oppression is real. It's really messy to talk about this, and it's something I really struggled with in the book. Is if somebody is coming to me who is honest to God living paycheck to paycheck, right? And not just the people who are like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but they have like a Netflix account. I'm like, no, the people who are actually struggling, who can't seem to make ends meet.
Right.
Unfortunately, my advice or anybody else's advice is not going to work for them. And that is not that's not the guru thing to say, but that's the truth. And I struggled with this a lot because I'm like, the single mom who works 2 jobs, who is just doing the best she can, and honest to God does not have like 2 pennies to rub together. There's not much advice I can give her. And this is where the systemic oppression piece comes in, and where we need societal support. We need social services. We need the ability to support and to advocate for and to assist people who are struggling. And we spend the entire last chapter of the book talking about like, okay, how do we take financial feminism as a lifestyle? Because the idea is I've done what I can to put my own oxygen mask on, because I can't put others on first, right? If you've been on an airplane, you know. So if I put my own oxygen mask on, now it's my responsibility to help others. So I will preface with that. If you're honest to God living paycheck to paycheck, this is where we need to demand better of our systems and our societies that exist. In terms of things that I love to talk about, 1, automate your savings. This is the easiest thing you can do. Automate everything you can. Automate automatic bill pay, your credit cards, your electric bill. If you can automate your rent, do that. But we're also going to do that with our savings. So you can say, maybe it's every time you get paid, maybe it's once a month. Okay, every 15th of the month, and I'm going to have an automatic transfer of $200 or 5% of my paycheck into my savings account. You can actually typically do this if you're a 9-to-5er from your payroll platform at work, is you can say, okay, I want this amount of my paycheck going to this place and this amount of my paycheck going to this savings account. Yeah. We automate our savings like we're another bill. You're paying future you, right? You're giving future you some money, and you're also not waiting till the end of the month to save, because what happens is people wait to the end of the month and then suddenly they don't have any money. Right. They look at their bank account and they're like, where the hell did my money go? So we're doing it first. We're paying ourselves first. And we're also doing that on autopilot so we don't have to think about it. You don't get an extra like gold star or badge by making personal finance really hard for yourself. Take every single thing you can that makes it easy. So automate your savings, automate your 401k contributions, automate your bill pay, automate everything you can. 2, I don't need you to stop spending money. I need you to stop spending money on shit you don't care about. You don't need to stop spending money, but I need you to stop spending money on shit that you either don't care about or are lukewarm about. It is 2022. We don't do lukewarm in this house. We don't do lukewarm. We do things that light us on fire, right? Right. And diets don't work. This is another thing, is like Dave Ramsey or other experts will tell you like, you cannot spend money if you're in debt. That doesn't work. 99% of diets fail because you tell me I can't have fried chicken. All I want is fried chicken. It's the same thing with money. I don't need you to stop spending money, but I need you to identify, what do you actually care about? And what you care about is probably going to be different from what I care about. So what we do in the book and what I do in my coaching is I have people identify what I call their 3 value categories. They're the 3 areas in your life where you love spending your discretionary money and where you get the most joy. So for me, travel, I love going on a good trip. Food out, I'm a huge foodie. I love really good food. I'm okay spending a lot of money at restaurants. And nesting. If you see the video, I have plants behind me. It's basically plants. I have like 50 plants, and they're pots and like they're watering systems. Like I love that shit. Coffee, I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I don't spend a lot of money there. If there's a sweater sale at TJ Maxx, yeah, I'm in there. But like, I'm not going to TJ Maxx all the time, right?
Right.
You get to identify for you what feels good. And again, we don't have to stop spending money. We just need to figure out mindful spending, value-based spending. So you can literally write down, and maybe you're thinking about it already, what are the 3 value categories for you? Again, maybe that's coffee, maybe that's clothes. I had a client once who, loved buying vintage. She would go to vintage shops, buy clothing, and then would pay to have it, restored or custom fit to her body. And she loved spending her money on that. That's amazing, right?
Sure.
Just because we spend money there, right? Again, it means, okay, I can't have this thing, but because I want this other thing more. It's not a don't spend money or spending money is bad. It's just simply, actually, I would rather spend that money somewhere else on the thing I really love.